see if this, there we go. I think we're live now. Good morning, boys and girls. Ross Besvar here for our weekly coffee break from Aruba ROI Marketing. And today's topic is really pretty exciting just because it is something that we don't talk about too often. We do talk about the need for digital marketing in general, and that includes a website. I heard a very interesting statistic 2 or 3 days ago that there are 32 million small businesses. Now, this is just a statistic for the United States. That's all I had heard from this person. And of those, 53% of them still do not have a website, which is very interesting. And I think there are people out there that maybe think they don't need a website, but it's interesting the sort of progression or the funnel that most people go through when they're actually searching for something that they need. And typically, even when they get to Google, do the search, you get the little pop-up or the top 3 pack, and there's the button that says website. And if you don't have one, where are they going to go? I mean, there's some general information, maybe some hours of operations, but if you're not managing your Google profile correctly and you don't have your services and your products and that posted there as well, it's very difficult for someone to find what they're looking for with you. And going to a Facebook page really doesn't do it for you because there's a news feed that continually changes as you add. You're going to make someone, you're going to force them basically to search for information, hoping that they can find what they're looking for. A website can actually get them directly to what they're looking for, especially when they do a search specific. So today we're going to actually talk about not just having a website, but more importantly, 9 practical ways to actually boost your conversions. So what is a conversion? That's basically getting someone to take action, right? If they've gotten all that way through a search function to clicking on a button, getting to your website, it's great that they're there, but you want them to do something, right? And it doesn't necessarily mean that they have to buy, but there is something that you are trying to convert them to do, even if it's, signing up for a newsletter. So let's get directly into it. I will move myself out of the way just because we don't want that ugly mirror thing that happens there. All right, and put this in presentation mode. All right, there we go. Let me show my screen. Hopefully you guys can see this all right. All right, 9 practical ways to boost website conversions. All right, if you don't know anything about us or who we are, we launched back in 2000, so we've been around for 22 and a half years. We were an eenmanszaak, which is sole proprietorship in Dutch, and then incorporated in 2015. And so we've been doing this a long time. We've been working back in 2000 all the way to now, changing as the markets changed. But back then it was only websites because there was no social media. Mobile marketing was not here yet. It was just getting yourself online to be present somewhere, somehow. And the websites were the only way at that time. So what we're going to be talking about today is measuring your conversion rates, highlighting calls to action, meaning telling them what you want them to do, testing images, adjusting your copy, that's the text, adding a video, offering a lead magnet. We'll talk a little bit about what that is, installing live chat, using mobile responsive design, and nurturing your leads when you capture them. All right, so if you have a business, you must have a website. That's a given, right? But is the website doing what it's supposed to be doing? A good website design is optimized to convert as many visitors into customers as possible. Now, there is no one silver bullet to optimizing this, but there are a host of elements that you can test to improve your conversion rates, right? These small improvements add up to big gains in customers over time. So if you're just letting your website sit there and do nothing, you're missing out on opportunities to add revenue to your business. So improving the conversion rate of your website doesn't have to be difficult. So here are 9 practical ways to improve your conversions on your website. First one is measuring your conversion rate. So we all know the saying that you can't improve what you can't measure. Well, the first step is to actually getting something on your website that helps you see what's actually happening. If you can't see what's happening, then there's no way for you to know how to make those changes, right? So Google Analytics, we talk a lot about Google here. Google Analytics is a free website tracking tool that really gives powerful insights into the traffic that comes to your website and what happens when they get there. This includes conversion rates for specific goals that you set up, signing up for a free trial or subscribing to your newsletter, right? So here's how to set up goals, track, and improve the conversion rate of your website. If you don't already have one, create a Google Analytics account. Most probably, if you've done anything in Google, like have a Gmail account, the Google Analytics is already there. You just don't know that you have it. or you haven't tried it. But if you don't have it, you need to have that first. So set up the account, and they're going to give you some tracking code that you just simply have to give to your webmaster to put onto your website. That allows you to then track what happens on each of those pages. Then you need to decide on what are your conversion goals that you want to measure, right? Once you've decided that, then you set those up in Google Analytics. And a great way to do testing, and I know I've mentioned this once or twice before, but an A/B experiment is allowing you to test different changes to your website, different variables. And I say this every time, only change one thing at a time. Don't change 16 things, because you won't know what of those 16 items actually made a difference, good or bad, right? So as you make changes to your website, continue to run those A/B tests to see how each change will either increase or decrease your overall conversion rate. So if you make a change on this and you don't see a good result, change it back and then make a change on this. Highlighting your calls to action. All right, so don't leave it up to website visitors to take the next step. They won't, unless they're desperate and you have exactly what they want. Tell them what you want them to do with a clear and consistent call to action on your website, such as schedule a demo, set up a consultation call, or just talk to someone, or even try our stuff out for free using a free trial. So here are a few areas to test to increase the percentage of visitors who actually click on your CTA or call to action. You can change the color of the button that they click. You can increase or decrease the font size. You can add or change images, tweaking copy. We'll talk about that in a minute. Moving button or the form placement, like where is it located? Will it catch someone's eye better if you move it to a different location? And of course, adding pop-ups or scroll boxes to your website, which means it kind of forces them to actually see it. And this is usually a good idea in most cases. Even a super small change like changing the button text from order information to get information can drastically affect conversion rates. Just changing one word can impact your conversion rate. So that's how granular you can get if you really want to test to make sure you're optimizing for conversions. Of course, images is a great way to test, right? So a picture is worth 1,000 words. And with so many distractions online, images are essential to help you get your point across to visitors quickly before they bounce to somewhere else. They can help visitors understand complex ideas, show off your company's culture and values, and even help them to identify themselves as your ideal buyer. So, however, don't assume that your image works. Everyone has a unique perspective, and testing images on your site ensures that you're connecting with your audience and the correct audience. So a few image tests that you can run are having images of people versus the product, or having male versus female, or a person looking at the camera directly, or having them look down at the product itself. You can use illustrations versus photography in actual photos. And of course, black and white versus color. So those are just a few items that you can test to see what works best. The list, of course, can go on. There's many different ways to do testing with images, but the main takeaway is that you experiment with different images that can help you to connect more quickly and more deeply to your ideal buyer, increasing your conversions on your website. So the bottom line is, if you don't know what you will convert until you test. Adjusting copy. So copy is what they read. That's the text on your website. So you can have a great picture, but compelling copy is a major key to getting website visitors to actually convert. Really great copy is benefit driven. That means you're writing to talk about the benefits to the potential buyer. And that instantly conveys to the consumer how using your product or service will actually change their situation or their life. The best product descriptions are short and sweet, so they're to the point, but you don't want to leave important information out either. So here's a pro tip. Using headers to help make your copy easier to scan. Smaller chunks of copy are much easier to digest, while other paragraphs, like long paragraphs, will actually cause your website visitors to maybe bounce. Now that may or may not be true, depends on the type of service and product that you have. There are those of us that scan quickly the headlines to kind of get to the part where they're really interested in it. And then they'll stop and actually read so they can fill in the gaps of what they assume you're going to tell them why it's beneficial. Others will read the whole thing. That's just the way they are. So does changing your homepage heading help more visitors convert? Are you using the most effective call to action text? So those are things, obviously, you can test. Now, Kissmetrics, they actually have a beginner's guide to A/B testing for web copy. You can look it up online. It's a very comprehensive resource on areas that can help you with testing your website copy. Adding a video. Well, We all know that videos are the bomb. Viewers of product videos are anywhere between 64 and 85% more likely to buy. That makes video a must-have in your marketing toolkit. Adding video to your website can help you convey complex ideas to visitors and explain the tangible benefits of perhaps products and services that are not so tangible, right? So if you do add a video to your website, don't leave off pictures, captions, and copy. This just video is an addition to those other basic items. Pro tip, don't have a video automatically play when someone comes to your website. First of all, it can slow down the device, or the volume can be disruptive to the user experience, which obviously you don't want to have happen. So the video should only be accessible if the user clicks a button or opts in. Finally, of course, remember that desktop users aren't going to be watching more than 2 minutes of an online video, so keep your videos short and sweet. Offer a lead magnet. So what is a lead magnet? We have talked about this in the past. Lead magnets are things that could help your potential buyer or customer with something that's related to your product or service that you're giving away for free. Typically, it's to exchange information so you can add them as a lead. So not every potential customer that comes to your website is ready to make a purchase right away, but that doesn't mean that you can't get the conversation started. So lead magnets are really a great way to build trust with your visitors to your website so that they'll think of you first when they are actually ready to make that purchase. So if a website visitor doesn't bite at your main offer, you can capture their interest with a helpful ebook, a checklist, email newsletter, etc. And of course, you can use Google Analytics goals to see which of those resources are actually converting website visitors into leads at the highest rate. Very, very popular way to test. Installing a live chat. Okay, so live chat is a great tool, but it's simple. It can help answer questions quickly and help visitors convert before they leave your website. So while someone who's reading a blog article is probably just doing research, a person on a product page is maybe likely primed to buy, right? So if you can engage them in conversation on live chat, you can actually help them with the information they might need to make the next step of actually purchasing and becoming a customer. Now, live chat may be a great idea, but not every business owner or website owner is prepared to staff that, right? To be available when somebody is needing chat. So another consideration is to employ an automatic response chatbot, or at least something that can automatically respond to basic FAQs or frequently asked questions, or just help direct someone to what they're looking for in your website, like a menu for a restaurant, for instance. Use mobile responsive design. And actually, my take on this is that you should actually be building your website first for mobile, right? Users now spend more time on mobile than fixed devices, and we all know that because we all do it. So if you're sending emails to your audience, if you're sharing blog posts on social media, or you're just appearing in search engine results, it's super important to have a mobile optimized website that's responsive for all types of devices. But a lot of designers nowadays design the websites first for mobile. Everything else falls into place a lot easier. You don't need a mobile app, but your site should easily load and look good on all devices. And number 9, of course, is nurturing the leads that you actually do capture, right? So what do you do after a lead visits your website is just as important as their experience while they're there. So not every visitor who converts on your website will become a customer right now. So lead nurturing, meaning you're helping to build that rapport and that relationship during the process when they become a lead to when they might become a customer, right? It helps you squeeze more opportunities out of your sales pipeline by staying top of mind with these prospective buyers. So once they've downloaded a lead magnet, maybe filled out a sales form, made a purchase, of course, or even if they've just gone with a different solution, you can still keep in touch with them with relevant content that really can help them with whatever it is that they were trying to help to fix. Even if they don't go with you, you still stay top of mind for maybe the next time. And this helps you to convert leads in the future, giving further lift to your website's conversion rate, which is why we're here today, right? So if you need help turning more online leads into customers for your business, please reach out to us. We would love to help you guys. We say that every time because this is something we do every day for our customers. We love giving this information because it helps you to understand what your consumers and your potential consumers actually are looking for or need help with. So finally, first and foremost, the design of your website should be intuitive and therefore relatively simple and mobile. No matter how creative your website is, if it isn't easy to use, people are not going to use it and they won't convert. All right, so make it simple, easy to use across all devices, then test your images and your videos and your copy adding lead magnets, including live chat or automated chat support, nurture every new lead, and then watch your conversions rack up. So that's it for today. I don't see that we have any questions in our chat, but please reach out to us. There's the phone number, email address, and website, of course. We'd love to assist you in any way, even if it's just to bounce ideas off of maybe where you're stuck and where we can help you to get unstuck. We will see you next week. Have a great rest of the week.